5, 4, 3, 2. Buenos dias. Welcome back to Girlfriend Conversations. We're back for another episode. How are y'all doing?
Apparently fine.
Wait a second. I said buenos dias.
Yeah.
Is that in the morning?
That's a good day.
That's a good day.
Oh, okay. Well, good day, everybody.
So it's dark outside.
Buenos that's this afternoon.
But buenos noches is good night.
Good night. We're not
I can
going
say good night. It's not time to go good night, but we recording at night, so good night. Shoot.
Well, that's like a departure, though.
What?
Like
It's
good
a
night.
good. I don't want a good night. You want a good night?
Okay, so
You want a good night or not? You want a good night or not? Do you want a good night or not, Ramati? Do you want a good night or not? Y'all can tell clearly we haven't been together in a long time. Ramatu has provided us with something that has intoxicated us. I don't think it really kicked in for me. I think I'm just on one tonight, period. But anyways, welcome back.
I was when I was looking for that black dot, and it's on my phone.
So I'm not there yet. I don't think so. Maybe not. Y'all get on my nerves. All right, Corinna, so go ahead and kick us off with our icebreaker for tonight.
This is Corinna.
So, this has been said before. I'm the only one without a child in the group. Hopefully, this icebreaker leads into our next podcast. So, my question is to my friends: what do you all love most about being a parent? And what is something, if you could change it, what would it be? I'm taking advice from you all, or either people who don't have kids and think about having kids.
What do I love most? I don't know.
I think for me, I love the way CC loves me. Like, I know it's unconditional.
Mm-hmm.
It's in her face. It's in the things that she say. Just her interactions with me. I love that even when she has gotten on my absolute last nerve, she could kill ass and she still just loves on me. I could have just got on her. Like, ripped her a new one. And she still just, Mommy, I'm sorry, or Mommy, I love you. She still just wants to be there and be around for me. Like, I just love that no matter what, she needs me.
Unconditional love.
Yeah, I love it. I love that.
It's kind of to piggyback off of Aja. Layla cares. She knows when I'm going through it. I can't hide it no matter how much I want to hide it. She's just like always checking in. You good? Or like she's always wanting to give a hug. Like I'm like you, like been fussing at you, or like, Lord, you just walked in here and gave me a hug. Can you go on? But no matter what, she's always making sure that I'm good. And I don't know if I like that for her or not in terms of I'm mommy, and so I don't want her to feel like she's got to constantly check on me because that's not her role. But she does it, and she does it well. She knows when mommy is not right, and she picks up on it. So I do love that about her and about being a mommy.
For me, I think I love seeing me and my children,
Especially that little one.
but yes, they say especially Riley is something else. But Riley is me in my later years. Riley's not 12, 13, you know what I'm saying, younger Matu. That's more Ramaya. Because I wasn't like this crazy thing. I don't think I'm crazy, but outspoken thing when I was younger. Like, was real mild, man. Like, my nickname was Angel for a long time.
That was before I met her.
It was. Like, when I was a baby, my daycare teacher gave me the nickname.
Right.
Angel.
Shut up. We ain't never encountered that one.
Right, but it's people who,
But
be like,
do
hey,
have
Angel,
those
you know what I'm saying?
characteristics.
So I see that side of me in Ramaya. And then for Riley, child, if y'all want to meet a little Matu, meet that Riley Gray. She gets on my nerves so bad, but I love her so dearly. Love both of them. But I think you asked a follow-up question, what you love about them. I mean, one thing that I could change.
Oh, yeah.
I like the parent that I am towards Riley. And I think if you have more than one children, you know, and they're not More than one children. More than one child.
And it is taking effect.
You know.
Just say no.
You know how it is, right? But with Ramaya, because I was so young and under the circumstance, I was, it wasn't cool that I had a baby at 22. So like my family was like, and I was mad that I disappointed them. So I had made up my mind like Ramaya is not gonna fail at nothing. You know what I'm saying? So out the gate, your hair better be straight. You better not do nothing. You better not blink. Don't breathe too hard. You got to be a perfect kid. And I think that I tell the truth, tell it fast, have something to do with why she's still mild mannered, and that now to this day. But with Riley, I just let her grow into her own. I didn't necessarily quote unquote mold her, but just let her be free and wasn't so strict. Like a lot of stuff, like Riley be like, you would have whooped my butt if I would have did that. With Riley, I just like, man, go ahead, Riley. I ain't got time for you today. You know what I'm saying? But that's my.
What I didn't say what I would change. Okay. It would kind of be like my two was saying. I'm very much like my dad, and he was hard on us, and not like in a mean way. But I take that on a lot, just because I feel like I've made so many mistakes along the way. Not so much as a parent, but just as a young woman, I've made mistakes, and so I think I project that upon her. And I am hard on her. So if I could be a bit more softer, because she is she's a delicate kid. Well, she's kind of grown out of it now, because she's one of those, like, you're not gonna make Layla do something she don't want to do. And I don't know where she got that mentality from. Like, she can have that bit of a hard exterior sometimes, but she really is soft and delicate. So if I could just tone it down, I think that would be the thing that would change my approach to her, because every kid or every, they don't need that. Just maybe a different approach to life.
That was beautiful.
I don't know. I think if anything, I probably would have paid a little bit more attention when she was younger to how she interacted with people. Maybe, I don't know, because my child, she's a happy kid. She wants everybody to be friends, but then she gets in the modes when she can be quiet and to herself. And it's like, I don't really know what's going on with her. And I'm like, I wish I would have just kind of picked up on that maybe when she was younger, because maybe I could have gave her better tactics to deal with, sometimes when she feels like she's by herself. She's, maybe being able to put her in a better space to understand that it's okay to be by yourself sometimes. Like, being by yourself sometimes doesn't mean that you're not likable, if that makes sense. But, because, she reminds me a lot of myself, but then there's so much of her, I'm like, girl, that's not even your mama. Like, I don't want her to be as hard as I am. Just that 2 peas in the bucket. I don't want her to be like that. But I don't want her to care so much. So I wish I was able to figure out when that became a thing for her, because she's such a people pleaser. And I can't stand that. I can't, because the way the world is now.
You want nobody to take it.
Yeah, I don't want her to get swallowed up, because it's not like that. I don't even know if y'all know what real friendship is. And it's like, these kids out here are ruthless. They different. And I don't want her to get in the midst of something. I want her to be able to recognize dangerment from people who are genuinely down or their real. So it's just like, I just wish I was able to pick up on that back then, so that I could have kind of stepped in and intervened. And
you still have time, especially since she's not grown. I think it's to be grown and to be a people pleaser is even harder. So you still got time to change and mold, or just have those conversations that.
I know we have this teenage stage. It's just like everything is. I was like, oh dear God, everything is so. Oh mom, I'm like, and I'm listening to the story like, so where's the problem? Because My answer to everything is fuck 'em. You know, she was looking at me crazy, and I was like, thanks.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh,
I mean, that is my answer to everything.
Oh Lord. So today's topic, guys, is about co-parenting with an inconsistent parent. And so because most of us are, so my two is left because obviously, well, for us it's the holidays, and so Aja is very festive, guys, and my two cannot stop laughing.
Realize
because,
she-
I mean, I had this on for 4 hours.
Aja walked in with
I
the
did.
antlers on, the deer
So
antlers.
you're wearing
on.
glasses and you still can't see?
You might need to.
Yeah, you might need to lay down. You're seeing things on the wall.
Oh, well.
You're just noticing my antlers. Yeah, you need to take a nap.
Some people are. So as I was saying,
Right.
today's
That's a serious
topic
note.
is about co-parenting with an inconsistent parent. And so most of us here are parents. And so I know with Corinda, I want your perspective too. Like, even though you're not a parent, that what you've seen, I guess, maybe with any family members.
Her dad.
Daphne's her dog. My bad. So Daphne has a dad.
Not really.
Oh, I'm about
She's
to ask you
adopted.
who it was.
Who the
Anyway,
daddy
who the daddy was. I don't know who the daddy was.
If anyone, it's Tyrone.
That's what I was going
That's
to
what she was
ask.
fishing for.
That's what I was
Don't
going to
say
say.
it.
Right. Is Tyrone a consistent
He's
stepdaddy?
there when I need him to watch her, so yeah.
Okay, but yeah, for the most part, we're single parents, and none of us clearly are not with our babies' daddies, and don't want to be. But the thing is, does it affect your children by them being inconsistent? And I think that's something that's a no-brainer. And we want to talk about, does it cause for any of us that are in relationships, does that inconsistency, gosh, I can't, that inconsistency.
Okay, see? I know.
Does it cause any calamity with the person that you're dating?
And the word of the day is
Calamity. But yeah, and what does it look like for us that we have the other parent that's just not that's not there or consistent?
Well, Chantel. Well, I mean, mine is probably the simplest of all. It's just me. There's no communication from the other side. It used to be in the beginning, so I'm not gonna lie. But somewhere along the line, you decided to stop. Cool. Probably around the age of 8, my child really started asking questions. And it was more of a, what did she do? And I had to let her know, you did nothing. You know, you've done everything right. And I had to explain to her, sometimes adults behave like children. And they're just not responsible, you know, whatever the situation may be. And, you know, even now sometimes she'll say something, but then it got to a point too where she was just like, I don't have one. I don't have a daddy. You know, so, you know, it's cool. And I mean, I have been, you know, blessed to have, you know, my dad and my brother, you know, to do. And then, you know, my boyfriend, you know, he'll step in and do things, you know, with her. And she sees it. But I know that she's smart enough to recognize that even though all of these things take place, she recognizes there's someone else that's supposed to be just as responsible for her as I am. She doesn't talk too much about it now. I really don't think it really bothers her or become a thing unless her other friends are having a conversation and they're talking about, you know, dads or things of that nature. And I think that's when it's like that reminder to her that, you know, he was there and then he just stopped being there. It does affect her. I wish that it didn't, you know, but I mean, I don't, you know, I just, whenever she poses questions, I do my best to answer, but I always reassure her that it was nothing. It has nothing to do with her as to why the relationship is non-existent.
I say for me, my daughter's father was not around the first 2 years of her life, and so even then when we came together, it was a matter of distance where he lived. So even with him not being in the same state, I don't think he held the same mentality as I did. Whereas if she got sick, it's not like you about to travel down the road to come take her to the doctor. So for me, that's where my inconsistency was, just because we didn't stay in the same household or in the same city or anything. But then once he came down here, and there's a lot of facets to that relationship. So it was being engaged at one point and then not, but even still, I think people get this idea in their head that just because that the parent is there or the relationship exists, that both parents are like fully hands-on. And that's not the case, because for him, even though he came back here, then he traveled a lot. So for me, that's where the inconsistency lived. And then after we decided not to be together, it was more of, for me, I do a lot of talking and trying to build her up. And y'all hear me say it all the time, like put her in front of people or be part of organizations and things. And for me, I want him to have those same conversations with her at home when she's at home with him. I needed to be consistent in that way, because if I'm over here preaching this, that, and the third, well, maybe you don't have to preach it either, but be on the same page as me and have the same expectations as I do. And even when it comes to simple things like being at home and wanting her to contribute to things when she goes over there, I want parenting to be the same way too. Have the expectation of her to contribute to something. You're just not there to lay around. And so I don't think he sees it that way. It's just like they chilling and they lounging. And I think for me, it's probably more than anything, like all of us, the kid lives with us, so they get 100% us all the time. And so the other parent don't feel like they got to really go in 100% in terms of fussing and cussing and then, reprimanding for this, that, and the third. Like the other person ain't getting it like that. And so for me, the inconsistency lies where how we're bringing her up, and I need for it to be on the same page. Just parenting inconsistent with the other parent.
Yes, of course it affects the children. And you got to be cognizant of is if the children don't act like it bothers them, but it really does, or their silence says a lot. I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, it affects the child, and the relationship is, if it's a negative relationship or not a good, strong relationship between father and child, it just resonates itself later on in that person's life. Consistency is needed, and it promotes so many other things than just a visit or because I laid my out. It means you care that much about me. Like you're trying to come to see me just like I want to spend time with you, or what have you. But when you decide that you want to visit 1 month, and then because you mad at mama, you don't visit for another 6 to 7 months. You know what I'm saying? That pattern, just like we act like children don't have feelings, like they are human beings just like us. So once, just like
see the same,
right? Like they don't have the same feelings and can feel the same thing as you do. As an adult, if you don't have consistency in your life or with a significant other, somebody who you love, it makes you feel like what? Like you're not good enough, like you're not valued, like you're not important. So why wouldn't you think it would make your child feel that way? I do. I hurt for my daughters. You know what I'm saying? I hurt for my daughters. I can say even with me getting ready to turn 40, I am wounded by the absence of my father. And no matter what I do for Riley and Ramaya, I can't never replace, their relationship with their father. And I can't never have an impact on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't steal neither one of them seeing them, but if I could take anything away from my children, it'd be that pain. I'm 40, and this manifests itself and through my life in so many ways that, sometimes I wonder, like, am my dad messed up that I won't ever be in a relationship, a healthy one at that? Maybe I don't know a healthy relationship even at 40, and I just don't want that for my children. My young black, my black princesses. who's going to be queens one day. I don't want them to be thinking that asking, you know, would your father being present here or there, and if I come with a gift, then that's everything. Just imagine what type of life that'll lead them down. That gifts and monetary things equate love. So I'll take you cheating on me, you not treating me right, you beating on me, but just because you bring, I don't know. I just want men and women to do at the end of the day what's best for the children.
Mm-hmm. What, if any, and I know, as you like you said, her father isn't around, but even in the beginning, like what things had you tried to do that you wanted for CC? I'm sorry.
You're fine.
That you wanted for CC that he wasn't doing, or that you have an idea how you want to raise your kid as a parent, but like what is it that you were doing that maybe he wasn't doing, or vice versa, like where you didn't see eye to eye?
I just think it's so hard to kind of answer that question because it was so in the beginning. Like she was small, like really, really young. But like I didn't have any problems. Like he would come get her, we go to church, her hair was fixed. Like I didn't have anything. But the one I will say, what I didn't like was you were comfortable to leave her. You felt comfortable enough to leave her in an environment that she wasn't accustomed to, because you were comfortable with that environment. You allowed her to stay, but she wasn't. She's not familiar with these individuals, and just because they were your family, you left her there. I would have never left my daughter somewhere that she ain't never been before, just so you can do what you want to do. I just felt like, just at the end of the day, you should have thought about the fact that this situation is unique. She's not with you like that. This is something new for her. We're trying it. She's only been with me up until this point. My mom, my dad, my brother. And now you leaving her with your mom in this house with these random ass people. You know what I'm saying? Shit going on. And you leaving my baby in this house with these people. And you know the kind of activities that's going on. Like, the fuck? You're her dad. Like, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I would never have, even if I knew I need to take Cece somewhere and I knew the environment was jacked up. Listen, I'm not going to leave her there. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's my people or what have you, but I know the situation ain't, hey, I'm not going to leave my baby there. I felt like that should have been common sense, but it wasn't. So, shit, that might have been the last time.
The last time.
Last time. What? I would kill you. You leave my baby.
What about you, my child? Like, has there been any instances of how you viewed how you wanted to raise the girls and their dads did something different?
No, because it's primarily you.
I don't think it's because it's fine. I mean, I don't think we had like different ideas of how we wanted to raise our children, but I think I had different expectations. I made our expectations of the parent team was different. Not like far as morals or values, but what type of parent I need or want or expected you to be to my child. So like things like that. But like Ada said, sometimes it's so multifaceted. I don't a lot of people's behaviors are based off emotions. And the emotions don't even have anything to do with the child.
Right.
So if I paint a picture, while I'm with you, you're seeing, spending time, daddy dates, blah, 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 doing this and doing that. But the minute that the relationship is over, your energy and your focus goes to said individual, and you leave a baby out here. So if that was anything that I could change, it would be that. Or, just because I think what bothers me, and I'll like when you get with another person, and then you can be all that for that. Them children, they may not even be yours,
right?
But you can't show what you really seeded. You know
attention that he or she deserves, right? And that's yours.
And
you're yours.
Okay, so I got a question. So if y'all have like the inconsistent parent what about their families? Like your child, do they get to know that side of the family, even though maybe the dad might be consistent? Like immediate family, like aunts, grandmothers, grandfathers, or whatever.
Even with the consistency that I now have, no, like she's very much close with my side of the family, and it's weird for her because we on his side we got the whole stepmom and dad, and then dad and stepmom situation. So she got 3 sets of grandparents, and there are 1 set that don't do, and then she doesn't know how to act and be, and then they expect for her to kind of loosen up and be, regardless of how old she is. And I'm like, well, y'all don't come around, or you don't volunteer, or you don't do anything. Like, you only know to tell her happy birthday because I posted it on social media. Or just being part of her life, or anything that she has going on. Like, no, that part is very inconsistent, but she's very, it doesn't cause any issues, but I've just given up that part.
But they don't take initiative to like really get to know her.
No, not that either. So she's only got like his mom and his stepdad, and then my parents, and the other set, they don't. And yeah, they don't take the initiative. So I stopped trying a long time ago. It's not up to me. So.
Go ahead, Sue. Take it away.
One of them's out of town, but one set is out of town, like way out of town. But they acknowledge, you know what I'm saying? They acknowledge, Riley visit, and so I mean, it could be better. It could be better, but it's established. But on the other set, Lynette reminds grandma and her niece to death. Outside of whatever is whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, they love her and adore her, want the best for her. So I don't have that. I don't have that problem.
Nope, it's just us. That one time I thought I was gonna give it a whirl. Nah, I'm good on that. You come to my car being foolish. You don't know me, sister, so let's cut ties.
Well, I was.
Girl, I was dropping her off for her daddy to get her, and the sister comes walking out the door calling me the wife's name. I was like, bitch, you don't look nothing like. This ain't her car. Well, let me just sit in my car and be quiet. So she finally came to the car, and she was like, she came to the car, and she looked and I looked, and she was like, oh, how you doing? I said, I'm fine. And she was trying to talk to Cece, and Cece just looked at her, and she was like, oh, you don't talk? I said, she don't know you.
What you mean you don't talk?
I was like, she don't know you. And I was like, where he at? So I can go.
You had a T-bird, didn't you?
I might have. No. I got rid of that. I had the parental. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that was it for me. Now his mom, she was really nice. She was nice. You know what I'm saying? But all of that relationship comes from him. I don't know what horror story you probably done told them people about me, but they have no idea. I don't keep you from her. Anywhere that I've moved, I've given you that information because I don't, want to be the reason why, you don't have a relationship with her. Where I work. Like, you've emailed me at work. I've been in the same job.
Age about the time.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know where to find me. Hell, that's public information. Even if I didn't want you to know, you can find me. But you make the conscious decision to do otherwise. Or you'll pop in and out, to say something. But I'm like, come get her. Not even come get her, come see her. I will meet you because you can't fucking take her. But you can come see her. You can't. No, he can see her. But he can't take her nowhere. So you got him. What's the next question?
I was okay. I was saying to stop because I was gonna ask one last question.
Oh, you.
So I didn't want to. Yeah, I wasn't going. It didn't make sense for me to talk.
Huh?
I said one. That's what that is.
How you know?
Because I said on the phone.
I thought you knew.
Yeah, I thought. No, that's why I thought, how the fuck you know? That's why I'm like,
it was really one. It was really one.
That's why I seen you, and I was like, well, how would you know?
Why I can't know?
Because you can't see it.
You can't see right there. So how do you really see?
Because I seen you, and I was like, what?
Bitch, I knew that. Like, why I can't know?
And I'm looking at Chantel because I'm like, well, what? Because I seen that, then I seen your
Words
motherfucker
may have
have
some superpowers.
Because she was like, what am I supposed to do?
How you know?
Because you can't see it.
He can't see with glasses on over there.
I know, but how the
No,
hell
no,
you
no,
gonna
here.
see it?
No worries.
Snorting?
Right.
You ready?
Yeah, it ain't gonna take me
Wait,
long.
I gotta
Put
do
it
the.
together.
I gotta do the.
You gotta get
Camera.
yourself together.
The camera already going. That's all right. Go ahead.
Right. You didn't stop.
The camera.
So why would you say on one? Okay.
I can see that 1 minute. I can see it. So time.
So we're back. One last question to y'all. What would you change?
What? Questions today.
What?
It's a lot of questions today.
That's what you trying to say. Thank you for
This is
listening.
That's
what I heard.
That dude from SNL, little white dude. What do you sound like?
Clearly, in between the break, some things have happened.
Was she Stewart?
Stewart, yes. So, last question is if you could change the inconsistent part that you see that you have, like, what would that inconsistency be? What would you change out of all of them? Like, there's things that's inconsistent with the other person you co-parent with. So what would be, out of all the things, that you would want to change the most?
Just one thing.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to go on for another 30 minutes?
I just don't understand the question.
Like one
So one
person
parent
might
is
be
consistent.
not coming
The
to
other
their
one
child
is
enough.
Ask this question.
No, we didn't.
We didn't talk about
She's asking, I guess, what's
No,
the one
I
thing that you could
could
change?
change.
Not what
What
are
is-
some examples,
yeah.
I guess, of consistency.
You didn't even give really any examples of what your inconsistencies.
Yeah, we did say that because I said like the inconsistency in seeing them on a regular basis.
So
So,
you
talked
would like
about that
them to
already.
see them
so is
more.
that the one thing you would change? Like, you might have plenty, but what is the one thing that means the most to you that you would want to change?
I mean, I think. What you mean? Just be a better
Adrian, what's the one
parent.
thing that you would like to
I
change
don't get it,
about?
though. So I mean,
Because
you
you
gonna-
might
so-
have you
so
might
would
have a
you
list
pick
of 5.
Would you be like, oh, he not financially stable enough? Versus
that might
versus
that
design?
might
Is
that
what
might
you're
be
saying?
that might be
Okay,
for
Which
you.
well-
one you want the most of?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well say that. Cause
So,
That's what I say. Are you here? Are you here?
that's not what you
answer your
said.
question.
It is. What's the one thing out of all the things that you want to
That is why you just asked the
change?
question, answered the same question last time. The one thing, just the development of the relationship.
Okay, what's yours?
I think that would be the thing too. Like, be a man of your word. Don't say you're gonna do it and don't do it. It's just too easy to just communicate. Just communicate with me, her, somebody. Just the communication.
So is that what you were getting, or that's what you get now a lot? I guess what I'm asking in terms of that.
But my thing
It's
is,
1 minute he is saying, yeah, I'm gonna do
but
this,
here's
and
the
then
thing:
the
it's
next
like
he's
you
not
have
doing
total
that.
access. So your actions, you would think that you had no access, but you have all access granted to be able to get or have the relationship that you should want to have. And when we do have conversations, you talk as if you know you want that relationship. But I'm like, okay, that's fine, but what are you going to do to make it happen? And then here we go with the pause. Then I don't hear nothing from you. And I'm like, so, like I told him the last time, it's real simple. If you don't come back or don't, just stay gone. Just stay a memory. Because I don't have time for that. Don't inbox me. Don't ask me the crazy stuff that you ask me. If it's not about her, I don't want to talk. Like, it serves no purpose. It serves no purpose. So I just want, if you want to have a relationship, have it, stick to it, don't be there. Get her hopes up, and then you tell her what you're going to do, and then you don't do it. That's the last thing when she was what, 7? The last thing that you decided to say to her, and you ain't been back since, and she's what, 13? So
I think the thing that I would change, I think, is the ideas that we have for him just thinking more about what's happening on this side. If he's not going to give a different perspective of what I'm giving her, show her something different, then at least be on the same page, or even still voice concerns. So where I have concerns that he might just sit silent on, I'm kind of like, she's got both parents here, so why don't you have anything to weigh in on, or why don't you have more to give to what the concern is? And therefore it puts a heavier burden on me to parent, because I'm the one that's going 100%, whereas you're not. So I think that would be the only thing for me.
I think all of them is equally important. So you just really can't choose one or the other, especially if your baby taking a short.
I mean, you can't, but I mean, I think if you had to pick, like for me, if I had to pick when he was gone, I would prefer his presence more than his money. If I had to, if I'm picking, there, for me, that would be the case. I would rather have, and I think a lot of us say that, and then it turns out sometimes it can be nasty. It just depend on the parent and depend on what the situation is.
And then I think we gotta specify what presence means, because some people think just because we're sitting in the same room, that's considered
right. I need you to spend
like
time,
I need you to put an effort into getting to know the young man or soon to be, woman that you took a part in making. It's a difference than just because I come get you and you sit at my house. I can sit anywhere.
So that goes back to developing nurturing the relationship.
So that's what I'm saying.
So if you're present, I don't want your presence just to be like, let's sit in the room, because just build you go over there and y'all just watching movies. Well, what do you really know about her to watching a movie? So I want you to spend the time, have a relationship, talk and engage, and understand the person that you're raising. Understand what parts of her are you and why she act the way she do, or whether that's good or bad. So yeah, I think for me, if I'm picking, like you said, they're all equal, but if I had to pick something in the beginning, definitely the presence,
all of it is
more
important.
than anything.
But I just think for anybody that's co-parenting, with somebody, is that you have to put your emotions to the side unless it's for reasonable cause. Like, if you know that this person is just a bad person in general, not because your relationship didn't go well, but they are just genuinely not a good person, then I can understand your emotions, being the lead of what's going on. But if it's something as simple as just because it didn't work out between the two of you, that should not gauge the relationship that your children are going to have with the other parent. I'm not even going to say the absent parent, but the parent that they might not be with 100% of the time, or even if it is a situation where they're split custody, it should never be that it's an issue. You should be able to co-parent in a healthy relationship. You should be able to respect each other. You ain't got to be in love with each other. You ain't even got to like each other, but you can have real, respect for the fact that at the end of the day, we have this child, and it's our job as his or her parent to be the person that speaks for them. Like, we're the one that's responsible. What we do is going to manifest into this child and send them out there into whatever direction they choose. So it's up to us to make sure that we instill the best that we can. And I think a lot of people just tend to just, oh, well, I don't do you like that, or I'm mad, or want to use children as pawns, and that just never turns out in the best way in the end. The best way in the end. So I think just the takeaway from this is just, we understand that it's not always easy, and it don't always have to be hard, but that communication, being honest and forthcoming, and realizing that, again, children are people and they do have feelings, and what we do or don't do shows up at some point in their lives.
Facts. That's all we got.
Yep.
Till next time, y'all.
Take it easy.
Yeah.